Farm Bureau is calling on the Senate Finance Committee for long-term certainty on tax incentives, highlighting farmers' main priorities for extensions. Joining us now is AFBF Senior Director of Congressional Relations, Pat Wolff. Thanks for joining us, Pat. And talk about why certainty related to temporary tax provisions is important for farmers and ranchers.
The men and women that operate our nation's farm have to deal with a lot of uncertainty and risk. There's things they can't control, like the weather and the markets, but Congress can take some of the uncertainty out of running a farm and ranch, and that's by making permanent or some of the tax incentives that expired at the end of last year.
Pat, what solutions is the Farm Bureau looking for regarding the health insurance tax specifically?
Well, the health insurance tax is a tax on insurance companies that's passed on to men and women farmers who operate their own businesses. The cost that's added is about $500 a year per person, and so we would like that tax repealed. There's no reason that it's there other than to pay for other government programs. It's a hit on farms and ranches that they don't need, and the HIT tax, the health insurance tax, should just go away.
What about solutions related to renewable fuels, energy, and railroad track maintenance? What would you like to see there?
Well, those tax provisions, those incentives should be made permanent. These are things that incentivize biodiesel production and encourage short-line railroads to maintain their railroad tracks. Soybeans need markets. Biodiesel is an excellent market for soybeans, and in this time of trade wars over soybeans, those markets are important. So Congress can act to make those tax incentives for biodiesel production permanent. They've been expired for over a year now, and they should just get to it. Same with the railroad incentives. They expired a year and a half ago. Congress has the ability to do that, to make those tax incentives for short-line railroads permanent. It's just a matter of making it a priority.
As you continue to advocate on behalf of farmers and ranchers in the nation's capital, what would you say is the next step for you going forward?
Well, getting these temporary tax provisions permanent is the next step, and that should happen in September. But in the longer term, there are important tax provisions for farmers that expire at the end of 2025. One of them is a deduction equal to 20% of their business income. It's called Section 199 business deduction. It's not too early to start thinking about making that tax incentive permanent. Otherwise, we're going to see a huge tax increase on farmers and ranchers down the road.
All right, you got the short game and the long game in mind here. We appreciate you spending some time with us. AFBF Senior Director of Congressional Relations, Pat